Most people think starting a company in Rwanda is complicated, expensive, and full of hidden legal traps. But here's the truth no one tells you. Rwanda has one of the fastest and most digital business registration systems in Africa, and if you follow the right steps, you can legally register a company much faster than you expect. But here's the problem. Most beginners fail not because the process is hard, but because they skip steps or misunderstand the order of registration. And that leads to delays, rejected applications, or even tax issues later. In this video, you're going to learn exactly how to start a company in Rwanda from zero, step by step, in a way that is simple, practical, and up to date for 2026. You will understand what documents you need, where to register, how much it costs, and how to avoid the mistakes that slow most people down. And stay with me, because in a minute, I'll show you the exact sequence that makes the whole process smooth and almost stress-free, even if you are doing it for the first time. Let's start from the beginning. If you want to start a company in Rwanda, the first thing you need to understand is the business environment. Rwanda is known for its strong digital governance and ease of doing business. Most company registrations go through a central platform managed by the Rwanda Development Board, also known as RDB. Now here's where it gets interesting. Unlike many countries where you deal with multiple offices in person, Rwanda allows most of the business registration process to be done online. That means fewer delays, fewer queues, and faster approvals if everything is correct. But before you even open the registration portal, you need to make a key decision that most people overlook. You need to choose your business structure. This is where most people fail early. There are a few common options. You can register as a sole proprietorship if you are starting small and alone. This is the simplest form. It is fast and cheap, but you are personally responsible for all debts. Then there is a private limited company, which is the most common option for entrepreneurs and foreign investors. This structure protects your personal assets and makes your business look more professional and scalable. There are also partnerships and branches of foreign companies, but for most people watching this, the private limited company is the best starting point. Now imagine Alex, an entrepreneur from Kenya, who wants to open a logistics company in Kigali. If Alex chooses the wrong structure, he might face tax issues later, or struggle to bring in partners. But if he chooses correctly from the beginning, everything becomes smoother, including banking and licensing. But here's the problem most beginners don't realize. The structure you choose affects everything else, including taxes, documentation, and even how fast your registration gets approved. Now let's move to the first official step in the process. Step 1 is name reservation. Before you can register a company in Rwanda, you must reserve a business name through the RDB online system. This ensures your company name is unique and not already in use. You will need to propose a few name options, because sometimes your first choice might already be taken. This is where patience matters. Now here's where it gets interesting. Many people rush this step and choose names that are too generic or already similar to existing companies. That leads to rejection and delays. So instead, think of something unique, professional, and easy to remember. For example, instead of Global Trading Company, something more specific like Kigali Smart Logistics Solutions has a higher chance of approval. Once your name is approved, you move to the next stage, which is company registration. This is done through the Rwanda Development Board online portal. You will be required to fill in details like company type, shareholders, directors, and business activities. Let's break this down simply. If John is starting a small tech company in Rwanda, he will need to provide his personal identification, details of any co-founders, and the planned business activity description. This part must be clear because it determines your licensing and tax classification later. Now here's a key insight most people miss. Your business activity description should not be too vague. If it is too broad, authorities may request clarification. If it is too narrow, it may limit your future expansion. So the smart approach is to describe your business in a flexible but clear way, like software development, digital services, or trading operations depending on your model. Now after submitting your registration, you will receive your certificate of incorporation if everything is approved. But we are not done yet. This is where most people think the process is finished, but actually there are still important legal steps that many beginners ignore. The next step is tax registration. In Rwanda, you must register with the Rwanda Revenue Authority, also known as RIA, to get a tax identification number, commonly called TIN. Without this, your company cannot legally operate, invoice clients, or open certain business bank accounts. Now here's a mistake many new entrepreneurs make. They delay tax registration thinking it is optional at the beginning. But in reality, it is mandatory, and should be done immediately after incorporation. Let's take an example. If Sarah starts a consulting company in Kigali, but delays her tax registration, she may struggle to issue invoices to clients, or even face penalties if she begins trading informally. But if she completes her tax registration early, everything becomes smooth. She can operate legally, issue invoices, and even apply for government or corporate contracts. Now, here comes another important step. Social Security registration. If you are planning to hire employees in Rwanda, you must register with the Rwanda Social Security Board, also known as RSSB. This ensures that both you and your employees are covered under national social protection systems. Now here's where it gets interesting. Even if you start with just one employee, or even yourself as the director, registration can still be required depending on your business structure. Many entrepreneurs ignore this step, and later face compliance issues when they start scaling their business. So it is always better to set it up early. Now let's talk about something very practical. Bank account opening guide. Once your company is registered and you have your tax number, you can open a corporate bank account in Rwanda. This is important because you should never mix personal and business finances. Banks will usually ask for your registration certificate, tax identification number, and identification documents of directors. Now here's a tip most people don't know. Different banks may have slightly different requirements, so it is smart to compare options before choosing one. Some banks are more friendly to startups, while others are better for larger companies or international transactions. Now let's move to something very important for foreign investors. Investment permits and foreign ownership. Rwanda is generally open to foreign investment, and many sectors allow 100% foreign ownership. But certain industries may require additional approvals or licenses, especially in regulated sectors like finance, healthcare, or telecommunications. So, if you are like Alex, an investor from India wanting to open a fintech startup in Rwanda, you must check if your sector requires additional regulatory approval, beyond standard company registration. Now here's the key insight. The smoother your compliance structure is from the beginning, the faster you can scale your business later. Because investors, partners, and banks all look at your legal setup before working with you. Now let's talk about licensing. Depending on your business type, you may need additional sector licenses. For example, if you are opening a restaurant, you may need health and safety clearance. If you are opening a construction company, you may need contractor licensing. If you are in import and export, customs registration may be required. This is where many people get overwhelmed. But here's the simple way to think about it. Start with your company registration first. Then identify what your industry requires. Then apply for only the necessary licenses. Now let's talk about ongoing compliance. Starting a company is not just about registration. You also need to maintain it. This includes filing taxes regularly, updating company records if directors change, and renewing licenses if required. Now here's the problem most entrepreneurs ignore. They think once the company is registered, everything is automatic. But missing tax filings or compliance deadlines can lead to fines or even suspension. So the smart approach is to set reminders or work with a local accountant if you are not based in Rwanda full-time. Now let's bring everything together in a simple flow. First, you choose your business structure. Then you reserve your company name. Then you register your company with RDB. After that, you register for taxes with ARIA. Then you register for Social Security if needed. Then, you open a bank account. And finally, you apply for any sector-specific licenses. Now here's the big picture. If you follow this exact order, the process becomes smooth and predictable. But if you skip steps or do them out of order, that is where delays happen. And that is exactly why so many beginners struggle. Before we finish, let's quickly go over a practical example. Imagine John, a freelance software developer from Nigeria, wants to expand into Rwanda. He chooses a private limited company, reserves a unique tech-related name, completes his RDB registration online, gets his tax number from RA, opens a corporate bank account, and then starts offering services to clients across East Africa. Within a short time, he is operating fully legally, and can scale his business without fear of compliance issues. That is the power of doing it the right way from the beginning. So here are the key takeaways. Starting a company in Rwanda is straightforward if you follow the correct sequence. The most important steps are choosing the right structure, registering with RDB, completing tax registration, and staying compliant afterward. The system is digital, efficient, and very startup-friendly compared to many other countries. But the real secret is this. Success is not just about registration. It is about setting up a structure that supports growth from day one. If you found this guide helpful, make sure to like the video, leave a comment with your questions, and subscribe for more detailed country-by-country business setup guides. Because understanding these systems can save you time, money, and a lot of frustration when starting your international business journey.